What's going on, guys? So, I thought this was a good opportunity to talk to you guys about things that are important. So one of my coworkers and my friends mentioned that I needed to be careful talking about Charlie Kirk on my Facebook page, because people are getting fired for that kind of stuff. And at no point ever will you hear me advocating for the loss of rights or life of anybody. Even the people I find the most loathsome, I would never advocate that their rights be taken away. Because I have a pretty good understanding of like the psychological aspects of people's behavior. I don't believe evil people are created, and I don't believe most people make a choice to be evil, because I believe that evil is the absence of consciousness, which is another way of saying you've been separated from God. And so I will like Jimmy Kimmel should not have been fired for what he said about Charlie Kirk. Because first of all, what he said about Charlie Kirk was not offensive at all. He went after Trump about it, and that's what everybody feigned outrage over. Or I don't even know if everybody feigned outrage. I mean, I don't think anybody who watched that video was particularly offended by it. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is an awful human being. He is given over to the demonic forces of this world, and he's already, like I said, being disconnected from God is my definition of hell. You've separated yourself from God, and you've sold your soul, and you have no soul, and you've been taken over by the demonic powers, and you're already in hell. So, and he was a very untalented and very unfunny person, and I believe that in a free society, the market should determine, whether or not someone should be listened to, or someone should be if you don't like that guy in Germany who put up a sign on his shop saying "No Jews allowed," and everybody's talking about should that be allowed and blah blah blah, and the only way to determine whether or not that's appropriate or not is to either walk into the shop and give him your business, or you don't. If you disagree with him strongly enough, then you don't visit his shop, and he loses revenue. And that's how you deal with bad behavior in society. It's a free market thing. If you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, don't watch him. That's how, and nobody really watched Jimmy Kimmel in the first place. So if he had been fired for being untalented and unfunny and not attracting an audience, nobody would have said anything. But seems like he was fired because the regime went after them, and probably because he said something that Trump didn't like, and really didn't have very much to do with Charlie Kirk. But you can pretend that all you want. I mean, I don't think any reasonable person. I mean, first of all, the easily offended are easily manipulated, for one thing. You got to get that through your head. But anyway, the point that I was making is that, and I would never say anything to advocate for the removal of anyone's life, liberty, or pursuit of happiness. I believe that, if you don't like a person or like what someone's saying, you should just not associate with them. That's the best way to, quote unquote, punish them. So, I did not agree with a lot of the things that Charlie Kirk said. First of all, because he was a political hack. I don't say hack in a derogatory way. He was just a creature of politics, which I find loathsome. And I just didn't agree with him, because he's getting people into his primary purpose was to bring people into the simulation, into the political paradigm. We just gotta vote the right people in, and we can have our freedom back. So that's why I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk. but I would never say that he deserved to die. Obviously not deserved to die. He has a wife and children, and you know, when I was 31 years old, I believe how old he was, I said some really idiotic points of view on the world. So, you know, and here I am. I feel like I've evolved quite a bit, you know. I still have plenty of evolving to do, but that's life. Life, you know, evolving doesn't end until you die. Growing doesn't end until you die. Learning doesn't end until you die. And if you think you've achieved or you've reached an end in that respect, then you've deceived yourself. So anyway, with that out of the way, even like I say a lot of things. I've had other people that I work with say that the things that I post, I need to be careful about, and you know, I'm reminded of my friend who I also work with, who quoted the Bible. I believe it was Paul while he was in prison, saying that if he lives, that living is Christ and to die is to gain. Meaning that so long as they let him live, he's going to speak the truth. And then if they kill him, it's kind of like in Star Wars, when Obi-Wan tells Darth Vader he can't win. If he strikes him down, he'll become more powerful than he can ever imagine. You know, so, and I post this all the time. I'm like, it's a Bible verse: do not conform to the ways of the world. You know, commit yourself to the renewal and transforming of your mind. I really don't. I mean, maybe I'm really naive, but I don't really think I would ever be disciplined for the things that I talk about. And if you're offended by the things I talk about, I invite you to ask, is anything that I'm saying untrue? And then if you can't really figure out, if you come to the conclusion that, like, no, I'm not saying anything untrue, then ask yourself why you're offended by the truth. Why are you offended by the truth? You know, you might want to do a deep dive and do some spiritual, you know, seeking. You know, like, look in the mirror, you know, and figure out, like, what about the truth offends you. You should never be offended by the truth. I mean, if you don't want, you know, there's the way things are, and there's the way you would like them to be. And I would like things to be the way that they are not. You know, I would like to, you know, to be able to speak the truth and not have to explain how everything is a giant demonic, you know, dystopian hellscape that we're all slaves in. I would love to be able to talk about that, and just I wouldn't have much to say, really. I'd just probably just be out there living my life and connecting with God and the universe and that energy. But instead, I have to live in this simulation, you know, where everybody thinks everything that is unreal is real and important, and the things that are actually real are not important or offensive even. So ask yourself why that is. If you can't find anything untrue about what I'm trying to tell you, then what is offensive about it? What do you not want me to talk about? Why are you offended? And why are you not speaking this truth? Why are you not just absolutely animated and on fire with your reality being so polluted and distorted, and your way of life, you know, reflecting that? You know, I mean, that was the one thing that lit the fire under me. It was when I found out that the people in power want me dead. I can prove that in court, guys. I mean, that's not a conspiracy theory. They brag about it. You're just not paying attention. You're watching football, and that's why I kind of mock people for watching football. I mean, like, I wish the world was such a way that I could just watch football and live and then have a little downtime, you know, a little entertainment. But the entertainment is a weapon against you at this point. You know, give them bread and circuses and they'll never revolt. You know, read 1984. You know, to keep them in line was not difficult. All you do is give them football and gambling and alcohol. And that's our society. That's what they do it on purpose. They brag about it. You know, don't get mad at me. Get mad at them. Get animated. Just get mad. And then, like, you know, get yourself out of the simulation. Stop chugging beer. Stop watching football. Stop eating garbage. Stop falling into this political paradigm that separates us and get us at each other's throats so that we hate each other instead of the enemy that we all have. That's above everything. You know, whatever you want to call it. I mean, like, you can call it the money powers or the elite, Illuminati, I don't care. I mean, like, they're above politics. They're not Democrats or Republicans, or, you know, conservatives or libertarians. They sure as shit aren't Christians and Muslims and Jews. They worship something else entirely, believe me. So anyway, you know what I mean? Like, do not, and again, don't conform to the ways of this world. Even if what I've been trying to tell you gets me pulled into the office and told that I have to, that I'm fired or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this world is just the twinkling of an eye. And I would rather, live in truth than delusion. You know, let justice be done though the heavens fall, as the saying goes. You know, and think about, you know, I mean, at any, if you consider yourself a Christian at any time in his life, Jesus you could have kissed the boot. You could have kissed the foot of the state and of the religious, you know, he could have not been a heretic, you know, but he didn't, and he gave his life because of it. And so, you know, he's saying that, you know, his the truth is more important than his own life. So what are you doing? What are you doing worrying about what other people are going to think about you? What are you doing worrying about your job and your prestige and your social standing? That's how they get you sucked in, so that you don't notice, or that when you do notice, it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. It's like that cognitive dissonance kicks in. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to worry about your pension and your retirement and your kid's college fund and your mortgage and your car. All the things that you're going to lose when you die. Right? So, and if my friend happens to watch this, I'm not in any way criticizing that person or trying to shame her or anything. It's just something that's been kind of weighs on me, that, you know, like, you have to be afraid to speak the truth in this society. And that's an abomination, guys. Think about that. That's an abomination. That you have to worry about rocking the boat. You got to worry about your job, worry about your social standing, worry about your friends and family not liking you no more. And that's exactly what Jesus said that he was there to do, to separate you from your family and your friends. You know, because they loved the world more than they loved truth. So, anyway, I love you guys. I don't speak anything, you know, I don't try and teach you anything that, you know, that isn't the truth as I see it, or to, in other words, I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just trying to show you how to think, and just to get you to think. I have a quote that I'm like a meme that I'm about to post. That I forget who said it, but it says, if you make people think they're thinking, they'll love you. If you make them actually think, they'll hate you. And that's all I want you to do, is just think, and then with that knowledge, act. Because you know, pretending everything is fine is not going to make this go away. And you need to, and if you have children especially, you need to look at them and understand the world that you are passing down to them through your compliance, through your apathy, through your denial of reality, and through your fear of the truth. You are passing on to them a world that will be much, much more difficult and much, much more evil than it is now. Even now, the generations who are old enough to own homes and live their lives, that life is beyond them now. You know what I mean? And it's not because they're lazy. I mean, look at the home ownership situation right now. It's impossible to own a home right now. You know, the jobs, you know, like everybody, just get a job. You can't just get a job these days, guys. Like you can get a job, but everything's so expensive that what good does it do to you to work at Home Depot or McDonald's when the government keeps destroying the value of your currency and everything's too expensive for you to afford? That's our life right now. So, and imagine what it's going to be like a generation from now when the children that you're having are grown up. So, I don't mean to go off on tangents and everything, but it's all connected. So, you know, get your shit together and start being brave. And if we're all brave, you know, like it's like one person can give another person or other people the courage to speak out and to stand up and start caring. And if we all did that, we would be unstoppable. We would be an unstoppable force. And we would know what to do because we would look reality in the face and see what we see and understand what we have to do. Because once you do that, the solution is obvious. And that's why they want to keep you in that fear. They want to keep you in that illusion. And they want you to keep your head down. Anyway, love you guys.